Mild spoilers are present in this episode.
Third World Cinema Club.
So, hello everyone and good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Wel-
good evening.
welcome,
Evening.
welcome to a very special episode of Third World Cinema Club. I'm John Tawasil from the blog Present Confusion, and with me is
Yes, hi, I'm Jim, Paranalo, Jimmy Licola Tibapa.
yes, and we'll be talking today with the cast and crew of a film that is now streaming. We'll be talking about it. It's called General Admission, and we have four guests who are part of the cast and crew of the film. Firstly, we'll start with the writer of General Admission. He is also a director. He directed a film called Utopia a couple of years ago. And he also writes for theater, and he is Dustin Celestino. Please say hi to our
Hello, good evening.
listeners. Yeah.
So happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, and we have producer of the film, Darlene Malimas.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to Third World Cinema Club for inviting us, for John, and to Jim, who will be hosting.
Yan. And of course, we have the lead actress of the film. She's been in a number of movies such as Transit, Karen Jagger, ano pa ba? Marami. Basta marami. Jasmine Curtis Smith.
Hello everyone, we
Yay.
made it!
Yay!
Ayun. Disclaimer lang kasi kanina sinabi ni Jim na matagal ko na daw siyang itong maano sa podcast na to. Pero joke lang yan, hindi po yun totoo. Hindi, joke lang. Half joke, ganun.
Oh.
Ayan. And finally, the director of General Admission, singer, actor, and now director, Jeffrey Hidalgo.
Hello, good evening. Yes, if I look dazed and confused, I'm trying to share on my social media profile.
Ayun,
It's so technologically challenged right now.
ayun, sige. So
But yeah,
anyway,
it's nice to be here, of course, and thank you for having us, guys.
Ayun.
Thank you.
so I guess parang icebreaker lang yun nga. Yung kwento ko is I've seen all of you guys in some capacity over the years. I think Darlene has produced some films na I've reviewed before in my blog. I think na
Oh,
nakilike sa Twitter.
kinabahan tuloy ako.
Oh, natatandaan ko po kayo.
Oh, no! Okay.
Ayan.
I'll be good to you, John.
The joke lang. Hindi, pero yan. Of course, Dustin, I know of his works from Utopia, and of course his works sa Virgin Love Fest, among others. So, and I've written a review of that if you can find it. Jeffrey Hidalgo, of course, who doesn't know Jeffrey Hidalgo?
Grabe.
Ganun.
Hindi, matandaan na kasi kaya ganun.
Eto po yung bayad ko.
Photo tayo.
Suhol, ganun. The joke lang. And of course, Jasmine, first saw her in Transit, no? Cinemalaya 2013. Yan, Hana Espia film.
That is correct. That's my first film. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I love that film.
May ang first ano ko dyan, after the gala, nagpa-picture pa nga ako eh. So, it's a treasured memory. Tag kita. Charot.
Wow.
Ayun.
Post natin yan.
Ah, sige. Ano yun? Mga 50 pounds ago. Diyos ko.
50 pounds ago.
50 pounds ago. Pero yun, I guess to start the discussion, to start the ball rolling. So, General Admission is about Katya. She's a sexy dancer of this group called DC8. And one day, during a live performance, something happens to her. And it's a very scandalous thing, ganyan. And the film is mostly about there are these personalities, and they're trying to create this kind of narrative around what happened, and it spirals out of control. So I guess my observations on the film, I will be reviewing the film later on in my blog, but this is very much the approach is satirical, no, and it's a criticism of chismis culture. Personally, I do not like chismis culture. Yun yung one thing about showbiz na talagang ayoko. Eh, so medyo, yeah, in a way, I resonate.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? Di ba?
True.
I resonated a lot with this with the film, no, and it's I agree with yung may sentiment naman siya na pinapalabas na why parang when we are parang attracted to spectacle pero nawawala yung ano natin sa katotohanan. Yun. So, I guess our first question to you guys, maybe for Justin or Direct Jeffrey, is how did you conceptualize general admission into what it is? How did you come up with the idea for the film?
Yeah.
Yung
Dustin na yan.
yung idea was I came up with it back in 2009 pa. Na it was mostly at that time I wrote it as sort of futuristic fiction for a class in creative writing sa UP. It was a creative writing class under Ms. Jing Hidalgo, and yung concept yun, it's a critique of not just celebrity culture but of like how we dehumanize the subjects of our gossip. Na it reaches a point na we don't actually treat them like people but rather as subjects para silang content. They're not people, they're content. And of course, our duty as entertainers is to exploit that content to its maximum capacity. And siguro doon nang galing yung idea na yun. And initially kasi, they were not, the characters I chose, yung character ni Katya had a more daring job. She wasn't a dancer before dun sa short story that I adapted. She was a stripper. And it happened na mas scandalous because someone was taking a recording of her performance na of course mas intense kasi yun nga, she's a stripper, she's naked, ganyan. And then we had it went to several revisions before it can become parang cinema friendly na hindi siya MTRC, mababan sa MTRC. So it went through a lot of revisions na tinulungan ako ni Ms. Darl and ni Jeff with because this was my first screenplay. I wrote it in 2017. So the material had a lot of transformations before pa namin ma-shoot. So it's nandun spiritual successor siya nung short story na Media X present Savages. And it's almost mahirap na siyang tawaging adaptation because of the amount of changes that were implemented. But spiritually, it's the same. It's a critique of not just culture, but a society that enjoys this type of entertainment and tolerates the abuse done on people to become subjects of yung entertainment na ito na ginagawa sila para mga produkto.
Yeah. I see din yung trend na yun, no? With there are a lot of films na rin that deal with yung how people mob, kumbaga, or how people perceive people in a virtual space like in social media. Films like So Connected by Jason Laksamana, or even in Cinemalaya there was John Denver Trending, although it was not exactly celebrity culture, but it's the same, parang this mentality na ganging up on someone because there is this narrative that may not necessarily be true, that villainizes him or her. Ma'am Darlene, you produced a film similar to this one, Gerald Tarog's Bliss. So what attracted you to the idea of general admission? Why did you choose to produce it?
Well, parang ang daming pumapasok tuloy sa isip ko, but generally kasi as a producer, I mean, like I also want to be kind of like a conduit or a vehicle for screenwriters like Dustin, a good enough role for Jasmine Curtis. You know what I mean? Like, I think as producers, there's also that responsibility to give an avenue for artists, that can possibly be like, okay, with this platform, which participants, which artists can actually play this to the hilt and make this the kind of, the and carry out the vision of the project. So there's that. Plus, of course, anything that kind of like has a subtext of social commentary is like I'm kind of there. So I noticed. I mean, I love entertainment. I love the medium of film. But I think there is that obligation. We are in a way gatekeepers. So it's good to be putting out entertaining stuff, but at the end of it, there has to be some takeaway. Especially during this pandemic, like people kind of wanna, parang like it seems that entertainment is really quite a sort of escapist tool. But at the same time, it would be great now that you have a captive audience, people in a lockdown that's just stuck in their houses, in their rooms, might as well, just share about things that can change the world and things that reverberate or resonate with society. So this one has things about cyberbullying. At that point, like 2017, 2018, there was yet no concept of cancel culture, and yet we're having this in the film. So I think in a way, parang it was, how do you say it, Dustin? Parang it was it
Parang unintentionally prophetic.
yeah, exactly,
Like,
exactly. It was a
yeah, because I
foreboding
wrote
of
it
sorts.
back in 2009 as a satire, and then I couldn't imagine how
Grabe,
it would happen.
2009, no?
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
it's happening in real life. So I'm like, okay,
E-
now it's
ex-
scary.
Exactly. So yeah, I just want to make it short. I just basically like I was attracted to the script. It was like because Dustin, I think I'm attracted to playwrights. I'm attracted to I'm attracted to the minds of playwrights. Just want to have to clarify that. And then really just when you have razor sharp dialogues, when you have like I felt like this was something sayang if it wasn't mounted into the big screen. So parang I just really wanted to help out, and I'm happy, like how it came about. So thank you to Jazz, Jeff, and Dali for never lifting their foot off the pedal and just being with the team the whole way down to the last stretch.
My next question is siguro is for Jasmine, no? How did you approach the role of Katya? And I guess corollary to that, siguro for I guess Justin or Jeffrey or ano, was Jasmine the first choice to play this role, or did you go through an audition process? So si Jasmine muna siguro.
For the role of Katya, marami kasi akong childhood experiences in terms of um, being out on the street, playing with so many different types of people dito sa Pilipinas. And that's something people don't really know about me, or people think, I grew up in Australia, Australiana to, di marunong magtagalog, baluktot, or whatever, because that's a perception they have of my sister. And so the same automatically applies to me. So anyway, so nakakalimutan ng mga tao, may mga chances din naman at may side din naman ako na pwedeng akong maging kanto, pwede akong maging, rough around the edges when I speak with my attitude. People think I'm so polished or she's so, but actually, like, of course, as an actor, you naturally have to change yourself in order to become the role, right? I don't have to create anything. That's the fantastic part about being an actor. You get what is available there for you in terms of the material, and then you learn how to make it what it's supposed to be, but also so that hindi siya the typical of what you've always seen. And you also apply what I like to talk to Dustin, because I like to explore, okay, when he was writing this, what did he have in mind? Like, am I also understanding it the right way? So all of that comes into play. And then when pag taping day na, of course, si Direct Jeff naman yung i-consult ko, because I have to know when it comes to the screen, tama ba yung expectation niya sa akin dito in terms of my gestures, my facial nuances. When it came to Katya, napaka challenging but also easy and fun to just whatever personality I had in my childhood, it is just so easy to apply it and was fun because the material in itself nga, was already so fun to commit to and apply as a character, and especially when you're so used to playing characters that are usually a damsel in distress, and yung parang you can't swear, you can't be almost you can't show your real bad side. Alam mo yon, parang even ako as a person, as a actress, in our culture, you're not supposed to show your bad side. You're not supposed to be human. You're not supposed to swear. I'm thankful because hindi naman ako ganon tinignan as an actress. But I know, for example, like a few years ago, there was one of the most known actresses na in a love team nahuli siya in a video swearing, and it went viral. Alam mo yun, na nag-PI lang siya, tapos biglang parang, oh my God, ganun pala siya, nagmumura siya, so hindi pala siya, alam yung parang, oh guys, baka akala nyo di rin siya mutot. So parang
Involved
the
ka ba
approach
dito sa scandal na to, Jazz?
No. Affected lang ako for her kasi tao siya.
Her
Alam mo
ba?
yun?
Her ba? Kala ko him.
Her. Wala. Si him. Bahala si him. Matagal na si him. Matagal na si him.
Kasi alam ko yung him eh. Tapos di ba parang nagmumet din siya.
Oo. Tsaka yung him na yun, I felt so attacked also in that love team, not by that love team, not by the people, the two people, but the audience that they had. I mean, not to go back, but at that time, being this young girl who was very naive, I was like, I don't get it. Ganito na ba mga tao? And guess what? Ganun na pala mga tao. We just didn't have the platform for it. So, ang haba ng sagot ko. Pero really, childhood application, getting, Derek and Dustin's input, and then applying and making sure that I see what the components are I have, like costume, hair, how the makeup sits. It's not like I can't request, uy, gandahan mo naman yung kilay ng bongga. It has to be, ano bang itsura ng isang sexy dancer on stage, like who does their makeup ba? Usually sila lang. So, yung mga ganong aspects na you have to also be aware of, like those small details, yung mga lipstick, usually bawal mag super duper red kasi nakakapokpok yan pag nasa screen ka. Pero, for that role, it fits. And like, if it were for a different project, maybe a mainstream project, they're like, uy, tone it down. Wag naman masyadong, para na siyang, alam mo yun, like, may iniisip ng iba when that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this everything, the facade of it, the dialogue of it. And okay, ang haba na naman. Yan. And that is it. Direct Jeff, your turn.
I remember yung question ni John. He's asking if how you were cast and were you our first choice? Yes. Controversial. Hindi naman. Actually, looking back, just because the character of Katya has evolved so much from the original source material, hindi ko din sure kung siya yung first. I mean, kasi nga ang daming pinagdaanan ng character ni Katya, di ba? So, but what I can remember is from how we thought we envisioned Katya already solidly in the script. Parang siya na talaga yung naisip namin for that certain Katya version whatever. Gets? Kasi nga ilang beses nagbago si Katya when we were developing the script . And the reason being that's why we had her in mind was because yun nga, just like si Darlene, as a director, parang I think I've only had 2 films. And I can be proud na parang at least what ang biggest achievement ko, I guess, with my first two films is parang I really um made my actors come up with really amazing performances na matatandaan ng mga tao, natatatak. At the same time, it will show that they are great actors, and it will show that they can portray a certain role that people would not expect them to portray. And I guess that's yun yung that's why it was a perfect fit for Jasmine, because naalala ko, nag-iisip kami nila Darlan, parang sino ba pwede na parang ganito, yung may peg kami for the character. Pero syempre dapat mukha siyang class. Pero dapat parang may kachipan. Ganon. Yung ganyan yung dapat, ganyan yung dating dapat, 'di ba? But pero yung yung kaya niya kaya yung we need an actress who can pull that off. Na parang pag napanood ng mga tao, hindi na iniisip, uy, ganyan, kaya pala, alam mo yun, parang it would be a first time for that actress. And that's why Jasmine was perfect for the role. Because, and, yeah, I say this in all my interviews, I think my biggest achievement here sa film is yung performances ni Jasmine and ni JC, because they're really amazing. If you got to see it na naman, diba? So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think, yun nga, yeah, they deserve awards for this. Whoa. both of them.
Hopefully.
I'm really campaigning
Uy.
for that.
Okay. may idadagdag ako pero baka ma-gen ad tayo. Kidding.
Kasi diba,
Yan.
di ba madami nagsasabi, nag-claim palagi na, di ba pag nagpa-promote, opo, ibang Jasmine Curtis po talaga mapapanood niyo dito, diba? In the third person, di ba? Palagi sabi.
In the third person.
In the third
Yeah,
person.
that's true. That's
Diba?
true.
Oo, maganda po tong pelikula at panoorin niyo po, naku, ibang ganito pa yung mapapanood niyo dito. Pero dito kasi talaga, she can really claim na talagang ibang Jasmine because she's never played this kind of role before. And even,
Yeah.
yeah, I've shared this also na some people from GMA messaged me na parang tipong, oh my God, kaya pala ni Jasmine yung ganitong klaseng ganitong klaseng
Hindi lang nila alam.
characterization.
Hindi lang nila alam.
Hindi lang nila alam.
Give me a chance kasi. Diba?
Really, diba?
Can I add lang din, like baka kinabahan na si Jazz. No, I mean like in my when Dustin offered the script with the age range and the profile of Katya, I mean Jasmine was pretty much like top of mind for me. And I remember, okay, quick useless trivia. I was in the panel, Cinemalaya, back 2000 something, so many years ago. I was in the panel. Paul Soriano was on my right, left, and then here's an unassuming Jasmine Curtis coming in to audition in a cattle call, with like, and then you were talking about her audition, and so parang in other words, like it's almost like for me as a producer, my joy is like getting actors to portray something that is kind of like well, age appropriate, but at the same time really kind of push the envelope for them. So I remember, talking to Isa, for example, for Bliss, and then Jody for Apparition, and these are stuff that normally, sorry, like a star cinema would give them. You know what I mean? These are not the kind of roles that the studios would normally give them. And I think as producers, we kind of need to afford those avenues for great artists like Jazz. Now, I'm not gonna massage her ego, but like how far she can go, and because meron tayong somehow template branded, like a Jody Santa Maria. Let's have her play Be Careful with My Heart till for 2-3 years. That's gonna be how she's boxed. But we can do more, and that's also how the industry will grow. We put out cinema that will showcase the real talents of our actors, and there are so many. It's just that they're pigeonholed to, some like soap opera kind of archetypes, but yeah, I mean, nothing against studios. baka, baka maging controversial na tong conversation, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out.
Yun. I guess last question for me for now. For Dustin and also kay Direk Jeffrey. The look of the film, parang for me, it reflects yung pagka-satire niya. There's a bit of parang quote-unquote exaggeration kasi there's a lot of neon lights. There's parang a sense of artificiality, kumbaga, which reflects din yung yung mga narratives na pinupush nila, kunyari nung characters nila na Net Inventor, ni Archie Adamos. So, in terms of production design and siguro cinematography na rin, how did you intentionally parang try to make the look of the film like this na ganon? Or ano yung thought process that went into that?
Thank you for that comment, Jana. At least medyo may nakapansin sa konting effort namin as a team. And yeah, sadya talaga yan. And yeah, thank you. Napansin mo yung mga ganung bagay. Because we really wanted it to be, to look, a bit artificial, di ba? And really colorful. And if you notice, parang every, the way we graded it, bawat studio had its own color. And so when it switches from one studio to another, yun, nag-aano siya, parang you kind of feel that switch. Pero very subtle lang naman, 'di ba? Hopefully. Tapos ayun nga, when we were doing pre-prod, we were thinking of setting it in the not so distant future. So medyo may pagka-futuristic siya. Pero hindi din naman masyadong in your face na parang ano na kami, parang high-tech na kami, parang gano'n. Hindi din kasi kaya ng budget. So, budget concerns din yan. Aminado kami doon. Yan. And and when it came to the tone, that's the tone that I really was going for, na a little bit, it's a hyper realistic. And I think a lot of the audiences naman got that, na it's not it's not really meant to be realistic. And that's why I chose that tone, is also because syempre, we're all from the media, and if we're gonna make fun of the media, kung masyadong seryoso, baka madaming ma-offend. So I guess it's just the perfect tone, perfect timpla lang to for this kind of material, para at least hindi, parang it will still be enjoyable, and at the same time the general audience, the general public will be entertained, and as well as the media practitioners, parang they can laugh at themselves and know na parang parang ganito yung mga nangyayari sa natin, pero syempre medyo pag pinunod, pero medyo OA naman to, parang ganun, gets, if you get what I mean. So yeah, yun yung naging personally, yun yung naging choice ko ng tone. So everyone, yun din yung medyo challenge nga actually for me as a director while shooting it, was yun nga, making timpla the performances of everyone para hindi din masyadong maging over the top. Yan. So medyo mahirap yun. Yun yung one of the challenges.
So that's my final question for now. Jim, yan, ikaw. Do you have any questions for the cast and crew?
Oo naman, may questions ako.
Mga showbiz.
Ay, hindi. Of course, related sa film.
Buntis ka!
Grabe. General admission talaga.
Naging general admission.
Showbiz din naman, di ba? Yun din naman ang theme.
Third world 24/7.
Ang first question ko po kay Miss Jasmine Curtis. Kasi you've already considered as the indie darling. We've seen you in films such as Transit, Baka Bukas, Siargao, and last year's critic favorite, Midnight in a Perfect World. So, in portraying Katya po, how did you prepare for the role? How did you prepare? Did you research ba? May pinapanood ba si Direct Jeff na peg for that role? Or as you mentioned earlier, binase mo lang siya dun sa experiences?
Definitely malaking parting experience ko from my childhood, but also from my own showbiz experience. Yung nabanggit kong experience kanina, yung napagchikahan na very light ni Direct Jeff, diba? That's something na I was able to use in terms of how it felt like na pinag-uusapan sa kung ano-anong platforms, and it was spun out of control na kung ano-ano na yung sinasabi, and some of it wala nang kinalaman sa akin actually, so that was the application I was able to make from my own showbiz experience. Pero for example, yung peg for her look or for her outfit, that's something that we can already see in our mga afternoon shows or game shows, and it's really just a matter of making it fit into yung gusto naming aesthetic, which was kind of futuristic like, and at that point parang I think hindi pa naman I don't know, actually, baka mali ako when I say this, hindi pa siya masyadong, the futuristic feel of making cinema wasn't as explored yet, at least within our films here. Siguro nakikita pa lang natin siya from Western independent films. So yeah, anyway, using all of that, and then, all of those components, whatever the research also of Dustin, si Direk, kung ano yung gusto niyang makita from this scene, having our script reading prior actual taping helped a lot, because we were also able to workshop some of the scenes so that the chemistry was already kumbaga established na. Kasi I worked with JC 10 years ago for my first teleserye. Nung bano pa yung acting ko. As in talagang, guys, not even transit levels. As in, transit was 2 years after that teleserye. So I would like to thank TV5 for giving me a platform to practice and to pay me at the same time. So, if anything, I'm just glad that I was able to salvage yung working chemistry namin ng JC into something better naman. Kasi sayang naman, and I really enjoyed working with him. So, the establishment of the chemistry was so much easier to lay out nung nandun na sa set, kasi nga na siya nagawa. So, pre-prod din talaga for actors is so important, and people think na show up to the set lang, or yung mga actors na hindi na ma-manage ng tama or hindi natuturuan ng tama by whoever tries to have them, that's something na I'm glad that also this team enjoys doing, and it's not it doesn't feel like heavy work. It's because I think we all share the same work ethics na mahilig magtanungan and share ng approach sa gagawin. So that's just it really, listening to each other and application.
May nakalimutan ka, Jazz.
Ano nga ba?
'Di ba yung yung na-share natin sa isang interview. Sabi ko ganyan, when you shared with me how you were able to develop the nuances of Katya and how you had to practice with Jeff.
Yes, because syempre hindi like yung kasi 'di ba siya parang bruskong yung laging irita, gumaganyan sa mga tao sa paligid niya, like especially also kay si Toto, mahal niya pero parang siya, parang attitude niya, and she's just trying to say like, let's save ourselves. Pero dala na rin siya, init na rin ng ulo niya. So I was doing some workshop on my boyfriend, and alam mo yun, nung I think first draft pa, well, not your first draft, Dustin, but the first draft that I got, marami pa kasing PI yon. As in, talagang in-enjoy ko. As in, sabi ko, Jeff, binabasa ko. Ini-enjoy ko yung lutong yan. Si Jeff parang, tinitingnan ako na, okay, kailan mo matatapos ng shooting yan? Kasi masyadong inuuwi. Tapos hanggang pag-uwi, yung irita ko rin, yung, ina naman kasi asan ba kasi yung ganyan? Ba't nawawala kasi yung bag ko? Ano ba? Yung irita ni Katya, nagiging way of ano ko na rin. So, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that, Direk. I just, kasi hindi ako yung kawawa nun eh.
Okay, memorable talaga sa akin yun kasi nga on the last shooting day, after we shot the last scene, which was also Jasmine's scene, sabi ni Jeff, ay Direk, maraming salamat tapos sa itong pelikula, hindi na ako pagpa-practice ni Jazz. Doon namin nalaman na kaya pala ang galing ni Jazz kasi nga may may nag-workshop sa kanya si Jeff.
Yes. Right.
Follow-up question po, Miss Jasmine. How was it working with veterans or veteran actors such as Miss Nanette Inventor, Vangela Balan, Archie Adamos, and Miss Rosana Rosas?
Okay, I always love working with veteran actors because from the very beginning of my career, like doon, bukod sa workshop mo, when you're on the set, sila yung pwede mong tanungin what to do when you still don't understand your director. So, not that I didn't understand any of your directions, Direct Jeff. Nag-guess ko naman lahat at nakinig naman ako, nag-pay attention ako. But in terms of, when I first started, ganun ko na appreciate yung relationship kasi with veteran actors. And when you're able to also observe them, yung work ethics, paano din sila magtrabaho, paano yung acting din nila, for that certain role, pwede mo ring i-take home yon for yourself, baunin, apply it once you encounter a role like that. That's one thing I take away. But also at the same time, you also get to hear about their life experiences, you get to hear about their work experiences, and it's something that will always humble you kasi minsan you get caught up in your own career thinking, okay, ito na, ang dami ko ng project, ito na ako. Pero girl, mahaba pa ang buhay. And look at these actors who have lasted this long, who are still getting casted. And, I always appreciate listening to Miss Osang's stories because grabe yung mga napagdaanan niya sa buhay. And she is not shy about it. She's so willing to share. And I think that's what makes her so loved by productions nowadays because parang andun pa rin yung yung willing to learn and to work and to also move forward ba. She acknowledges everything that she's done in the past, even her work ethics in the past. Nakikita ko sa Instagram niya, grabe. Sabi nung isa niyang dati yata parang PA lang sa set, binabatuhan niya ng sapatos because ayaw niya yung pinapasuot sa kanya. Tapos nag-comment siya doon sa PA na yan, sabi niya, ay Day, pasensya na, alam mo naman talaga, gaga talaga ako nung mga panahon na yun. So alam mo, it's always nice to see they acknowledge where they went wrong, their mistakes. Kasi ibig sabihin ako din, okay, bakit sabihin ng mga tao? Because look how far they've come and they're still working, doing what they like. And you know what? You'll survive. Kumbaga, bahala. You'll survive. Just don't feel like you'll be boxed in like Katya felt like. Yun lang siguro. Kasi may buhay sa labas ng showbiz. May buhay sa labas ng trabaho. So, yun na lang yun. Diba?
Jim?
To anyone po, some of you ay nakagawa ng film or series this pandemic. So can you share what are your challenges in doing this film, lalo't it depicts the dark side of media?
Also, I guess in the context ng COVID-19, no? Mga challenges nyo filming this production.
Parang wala yata kasi wala pang COVID nung shoot namin siya. Like, I think it was shot. Yeah, it was my first film. It was shot in 2018.
I see. So matagal na pala ito.
Matagal na siya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So,
ngayon lang lumabas.
Wala pang protocols. It
I
was
Yeah.
see.
as hard as
There
it
was,
is now.
yeah.
Mm.
Walang social distancing, so we can gather. We can be 1 inch intimate physically.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, kasi
Kaya pala dun sa mga eksena na may mga crowd
may
or
crowd scenes pa eh,
audience,
no?
no? Nakikita natin walang social
Walang
distancing.
mask.
Kaya
Walang
pala,
mask
because
mask.
this was done
I see.
Yeah.
prior to the pandemic.
Mm. We
Mm.
had to ano lang, I had to make sure that in the final output of the edit that there would be a disclaimer and there would be a note that this was shot prior to COVID-19.
Mm.
And true enough,
Mm.
when we broadcast or streamed in Cine Express or in the ABS-CBN platforms, they asked us also to put that in, which is important, because we kind of want to be responsible and also don't want to give people ideas na, like this was shot and we were very like we didn't abide by certain protocols. So yeah, this was pre-pandemic, pretty much like we we're freely moving around and roaming around, and come to think of it, I miss those days.
I
R-
know, right?
yeah, so
Mm-mm.
right now it's just aside from the fact that it's slightly more expensive, like there's just a whole lot of, as a producer, as a director, even as an artist, diba, you think about the whole production, but right now you gotta think more, even beyond just making the film. You gotta think of well-being, you gotta think of safety, you gotta think of psychological welfare of your people, because part of it is also just the cabin fever, and it's just the emotional stress. So yeah, there's a whole lot more now with filmmaking than it was before.
Yun. I guess corollary to that, no? Kasi these days, very bubble-based na yung filming, di ba? You're stuck in a bubble, limited crew, limited cast. Do you, your what are your expectations siguro on how filmmaking is going to adapt to this? Because the pandemic's not going away that quickly. Yun.
I mean, in terms of what I currently do now, even the projects that I'm involved in, sobrang, I don't know if it's a positive for me because bawas na yung cast, mas intimate, mas konti yung characters. And that's the type of writing I'm more used to because I write for the theater. Kaya to some degree it helped me kasi mas nabigyan ng opportunity yung material ko na pang intimate spaces. But at the same time, shooting it is a little bit more difficult now because of the amount of protocols that are needed. Siguro it's a like anything else, a double-edged sword. Na initially, like the studios wouldn't be open to the idea to shoot something na konti lang ng characters nag-uusap lang sila. But now, that's the only thing they can shoot. So those opportunities are slowly coming in. But as for the type of other films that I wanted to make before, sana yung mas malaki, yung may crowds, wala na, imposible na siya. So, pag may crowd, wala na. Automatic no na agad. So, really affects how even writers begin to write. But another element that we have to consider is um, how do you write a new film or a new story without including such a big part of what the world has become? 'Di ba? Parang pag nagsulat ako ng film bukas, sasalik ba yung COVID or hindi? Kasi pag di ko siya sinali, anong klaseng mundo yung ginalawan nila, 'di ba? Para siyang naging alternate history bigla. So,
Tama.
it's so weird because now I have to acknowledge that part of our history. Anong ginagawa nitong characters na to during the pandemic? In what ways were they affected? So parang nagkaroon ng isang malaking insidente na ang hirap niyang lakawan sa paggawa ng kwento dahil nangyari siya to all of us. So that's the exciting part, I guess, kasi parang ang hirap na tignan ng isang pelikula na totoo, na after realism, if they don't acknowledge the reality of the pandemic. Parang, okay, saan sila gumagalaw? Saan sila nakatira? Ano nangyari sa kanila ng pandemya? So, ang hirap magsulat ngayon, to be honest.
Ayan. Ikaw, Jasmine, as an actress, parang how do you see yung parang this change in the landscape of how we make films and other productions?
Well, from my perspective as an actress, now this makes it I think for actors more difficult in terms of making sure your skills are more refined because you want to be casted. And if scripts are more intimate, if settings are more intimate, you want to make sure you make the cut for that project, kasi kung kokonti na nga lang tapos one day shoot ka lang, and that's allowed kasi to happen now so you'll quarantine for 5 days pero one day ka lang i-shoot. Pwede yun. So parang it still sucks, 'di ba? Kasi gusto mo makadami ka na because after nun magka-quarantine ka, and the longer you do these, it's for your health and it's for your well-being, but the longer you do these, you also have to make sure that you're doing something to make yourself better. So ako, it's really making sure na I'm learning even if I have so much downtime kasi maraming projects na nangyayari ngayon na hindi ako part. I'm thankful last year I was busy. I was still able to do a film and to finish my teleserye. Tapos may nagawa pa akong parang 3-day taping for 1 week special in GMA. So, swerte ko. But, also being on the set and being the only one na magtatanggal ng mask is also very nerve-wracking. Kasi kahit anong sabihin mo na kayo ng co-actor mo, safe, hindi ko naman alam. Baka may ka-share siya na room na co-actor na may na-encounter that day na hindi natin alam. Baka mamaya yung wherever the accommodation is, may nakausap na security guard. I don't know. Basta hindi mo lang masisigurado nowadays. And especially when we're doing yun nga, yung may mga nag-one day or may mga nag-2 days lang kasi nga hindi naman pwede kung best friend lang sila and crucial lang sila sa isang eksena for that movie. Alam nga namang ilakin sila the whole 30 days na mag-shoot, di ba? Kasi 30 days kukunin yung lead. So anyway, those logistics also matter to me as an actress kasi I have to think of it na gusto ko ako yung nandoon for majority of the shoot para also yung story, I can be as part of it as much as possible, and then at the same time kumita ako kasi trabaho, yun ang point nito, 'di ba? Para kumita ka. So yun, and now 7 months of not doing any acting work, I've been reading this book for script analysis kasi I'm preparing to go into a new lock-in, and it's my first time na teleseryeng lock-in na ganito katagal. So I'm freaking out kasi hindi siya 3 weeks lang na ginawa ko last year for the movie na tapos isa lang yung co-actor ko noon, and then yung mga nag-one day, 3 lang sila na mga 2 senior tas isang girl na may anak. So alam kong hindi yan mga yan na-expose. Alam mo yan, may safety kang sigurado ka sa kanila. But how sure am I sa set na ito? Not to put a bad light on the network. What I'm saying is on the people. You don't know on the people sa accommodation, the people na whatever. Basta, yun. Hindi mo lang masasabi talaga. And yun, syempre, ko-consider din yung kakayahan mo. Magaling ka ba o hindi? So, mas magaling to. Sorry na lang. So, ano ba yan? So, galingan mo, girl. Gumaling ka. Kasi, hindi ka ba? So, siguro, sabi ni Lord last year, parang okay ka naman. So, cast kita sa movie na to. Pwede ka. Try mo lang. Tignan natin.
Yan.
So, yeah.
And I guess follow up din si Miss Darlene, no? Because producing films these days is a big risk because wala tayong theaters and we have to rely on streaming platforms to distribute our material. So, in terms of filmmaking, ano yung mga challenges na na-encounter mo in terms of this pandemic in producing films or in taking a risk to produce films?
Well, first and foremost, no, we have to really thank the financiers, the ones that when we talk about producing, right? I mean, it's putting the thing together. It's putting, but then there would be no film if there are no people who would stake their money into making it. And so I think I think right now it's really quite a challenge for these for the studios, the whether they be independent individuals, if it's private equity that you're getting the money out of. um, I think right now the challenge is really, okay guys, there could be money in streaming platforms, but it's also a new landscape right now that we're dealing with. So I think you gotta really think out of the box and think about, okay, what would, number one, what stories would actually fly in this, with considering the temperature of 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 the people, like what type of movies, what type of narratives do they want to see. But at the same time, like if you pitch to an investor, right, you gotta really be also keen about protecting their stake. So, hindi pwede ngayon like, guys, gawa tayo ng ano ha, period drama. Mga 80 million. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like, guys, you really now think, as what Dustin said, you have to be creative when it comes to the storyline, but at the same time on how to actually execute it. That is quite possible, within the realm or within the boundaries that we have. I think also, John and Jim, if I may just mention, I think it's really difficult. It's an uphill climb. It's quite steep. Going back to, I don't think we'll ever go back to the old normal, right? Pero if there's one thing that the pandemic has done to the whole industry, which is the cinema media industry in the Philippines, it's really to go back to the humanity of it all, and just like, okay, guys, let's not shoot 23 hours, let's shoot 12 hours. By having all these restrictions now, we're now going back to what is humane, what should have been standard in the first place. And that's crucial. So parang, we have to revisit philosophies of how we're doing things, the manner of how we do things. Because really, letting people, whether they be PA, utility, crafts, letting them work for 26 hours is just not acceptable, but it was acceptable few months, few years back. So yun lang, yung parang, I think right now we also have to deal with, okay guys, like, right now lives are important. And before, I think we treat cinema or filmmaking as like, okay, the king is the story, okay, that's given. But then again, your human resource is your biggest resource. So if you don't take care of them, di ba, like parang ang hirap to make a film. It's very collaborative, it's not the director's um playpen, it's not even the producer, it's everybody's ball game. And so you have to treat everyone with respect, and you gotta make sure that everyone is happy. At the very least, everyone is just feel safe, within the set. And so, I really make it a point, like, if you're gonna make a horror film, if you're gonna make as stressful film like Gen Ad, at the very least, at behind the camera, it's a happy family. So that's the intention. Sana ganon si Jazz. Sana ganon, like, yeah, darl, like, hindi naman ako stress.
I wasn't stressed out. Happy ako sa set natin. I was so happy. I enjoyed it so much talaga. As in, Katya to the max. Pwede bang balikan si Katya? Kasi parang kailangan ko siya lately.
General
Part
admission 2. Ganun.
Part 2 na to, Dali, part 2.
Part 2.
Outer persona ko pala si Katya. I feel like that's, pag may lumalabas na bad energy, hindi naman siya bad person. She's a lovely person. It's just that, yung bad words lang. Doon lang Katya ang tinatawag ko sa sarili ko.
Ayun. Jim, do you have a question for Direct Jeffrey?
Yes. Kasi di ba, we know Direct Jeff from Smoky Mountain. And then nag-solo siya, di ba? As a recording artist, nag-theater, ganyan. And then he directed then sa TV and now in film, no? So my question is, how did your journey as an artist help you to direct this film?
Mm. I think si Jasmine commented on that before in one of our interviews na parang I'm first and foremost an actor's director, 'di ba? 'Di ba there are different kinds of directors, 'di ba? So I guess because I came from I also acted before, and well, I will be acting again soon. Um tawag dun, yun nga, because I know how I know how they feel. So it's easier for me to relate to them. And yeah, I think that's really a big advantage on my part because I can get into their psyche and kind of, all I have to do is really get to know them as persons and how they operate. And it all takes lang naman a few conversations, a few hangouts with your cast para medyo makuha mo yung quirks nila, yung ano ba yung mga preferences nila, yung sensibility nila, 'di ba? So and then from then on, yun. Kasi parang there's really not one particular way of dealing or directing your actors. Wala. Basta parang at the end of the day, whatever method that I need to do to get that performance out of them, I will do as much as I can. So yun, and I think my experience as an actor and a performer as well, syempre kasi may mga din, that also helps me kasi when I sometimes direct actors who play performers or singers, yun. Maganda ding I mean, or stage actors and actresses, 'di ba? So yeah, yun yung I think that's my advantage talaga as a director.
Yan. Jim, any final questions before we wrap this up? Okay na? Wala na?
Okay na.
Okay. Yan. So, guys, Direct Jeffrey, Ma'am Darlene, Direct Justin, Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us today. Yan.
Thanks, John.
Thank you so much.
Salamat, guys. Thanks so much, John Jim.
Yeah, general admission is available at KTX, right? KTX.ph until May the 9th. And
I shared pala our link to some of my followers. So I think
Yes.
let's say hi to them. Nakita ko sa nakita
sige
ko.
po, sige po. Sige po.
Hi to Mayana, to Edna. Ayun, yun lang naman. Ano ba? And to Edna. Yung pa yung mga nanonood ko, nakita ko yung nag-comment sila.
Ayan.
Hi, guys.
John,
Yes.
it's KTX, it's producer. KTX, I want TFC,
Mhm.
and then TFC, the Filipino channel, which is separate pa, and then Sky Cable, Sky
Oh,
Pay-Per-View, and then okay, wait, I might miss something. Did I miss something? Sky and
Signal.
Signal?
Signal.
Signal.
Oh my God, Signal Pay-Per-View.
Yeah.
So it's like about
Got
5
you.
platforms. Yeah, thank you, Jazz.
Is it available Is it available worldwide, or are there plans for a worldwide release?
Yes,
Oh,
worldwide.
it's a
Mr. Worldwide.
well, right now we're working. We just signed actually a contract with ABS-CBN Global, so that will effectively make us available soon, and hopefully in like Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, and a couple more other platforms internationally. So we're hoping to just kind of like the more we get to share this with fellow Filipinos and other internationals, like we'd be more than glad to share this film.
Yun.
Yeah, I have friends and fellow kasi I stream also now on sa one platform in Sessions Live, and I have co-streamers and viewers there. from all around the world, from Australia, States, Thailand, Vietnam, and KTX.ph lang naman sila nanood. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I
Same
think
as
it's
my family in Australia.
it's available worldwide.
Yan.
Hindi ko alam sa iba, basta KTX.ph lang palagi sinasabi.
KTX.ph, guys. You can find Jim's blog at Jimeliculat de Papa. He reviews old Filipino films. My blog is Present Confusion. I'll be writing something about now general admission. I recently wrote something about another series, A Signal Play, recently. So check that out if you want. I also have a YouTube channel din pala. It's John Tawasil yung pangalan ng YouTube channel. Konti lang subscribers pero I made a lot of 350 lang kami.
I'll follow you, John. I'll
Follow,
subscribe.
like, and subscribe.
Follow, like, and subscribe.
Go.
Comment, like, and subscribe.
I made a couple of video essays. So parang in batches ko ginagawa. So this batch I made a video essay about the Cinemalaya film Distance, the film anong tawag doon? Tayo sa Huling Buwan ng Taon. I did something there. We also did a video essay about kung paano siya nawala, very recently, and of course Gusto Kita with All My Hypothalamus. We also did I also did video essay. So panoorin nyo, less than 5 minutes each, lang. So kunyari nasa toilet kayo, ganyan, gusto nyo makinig ng soundtrack.
Will do, John. Sige.
Ayun.
Well, I'll subscribe.
And
kape sa umaga, ganyan. Talagang toilet.
Very relaxing activity kasi. Ewan ko, masarap naman tumae, diba?
Ano naman, kanya-kanya na lang.
Ako rin pwede mag-plug.
Sige.
May YouTube
Go!
channel din ako. Nagtuturo ako ng fiction, tsaka ng writing for film, television, and theater.
It's
Ang channel ko ay Dustin Celestino.
just one word, walang space.
Hindi ako sure. Parang may space.
O basta search nyo na lang.
Pag
Guys.
sinerch Dustin Celestino. Walang, may space. May space yun.
May space.
Jasmine, may ano ka ba? May YouTube channel ka, Jazz? Wala pa. Wala kang plano mag-vlog, mga ganun-ganun.
YouTuber,
Wala akong
streamer,
plano mag-house tour or mag-room tour.
ML, ganyan.
Wait, so I just followed John. Jim, what's yours? What's yours again? So that I'll follow you guys. Jim, do you have a YouTube?
Wala.
Oh.
Sige,
wala.
Promote ko na din yung YouTube channel ko para dumami na din yung subscribers. Jeffrey
Go
Hidalgo lang.
Jack!
But more on singing yung ginagawa. But I think I'm gonna do a vlog soon because pag hinandle na ng Viva yung channel ko. Kasi tinatamad ako mag-edit.
Yun talaga
diba?
yun eh.
Yeah, I shot a vlog kasi in Boracay when I was there with Geneva. And hindi ko na-edit. So, yeah.
Ayun.
I just followed Dustin.
Yay!
Thank you, Miss Dar.
Follow lang.
Yay!
Follow kita later, ha?
Follow
Ayan.
and comment and like, guys. Comment and like.
And follow us on our socials.
Ano na lang po, just follow and like na lang po ang Third World Cinema Club and from Film Street.
Got it.
Alright.
Okay.
So until next time, guys, before we go, parang pasintabi lang, my favorite Smoky Mountain song is Paraiso. Paraiso.
Yeah.
Help me
Love
make a
it.
stand. Joke.
Yes.
Charot.
Oy, may mga nanonood tayo ng mga parts sila ng Smoky Mountain Forever Solid.
Nice.
Facebook. So kung solid ka din, if you wanna join yung mga ka-smoky, yun. Pero siya, you have to answer a few questions.
Good
just to-
trivia. May entrance exam.
Prove na, fan ka talaga, diba?
Pwede rin.
Oo.
Join nga dito. Tapos biglang pag sumagot ng questions, actually, pini-forward nila minsan sa akin, Direk, ano ba talaga to? Ginaganon nila ako eh. I-accept pa namin.
Dapat hindi ka fake fan.
Oo, hindi pwede. Hindi pwede yung poser. Kailangan fan talaga.
Exactly.
Baka magbenta ng kung ano, guys.
Oo, diba?
Ganon. Nako.
PMSG.
So, ayan guys. Until next time, see you again sa Third World Cinema Club. And bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Bye, guys. Thank
everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Stay safe.
You too. Stay safe.